I'll call three names. Please come up to the table. Carl Mohammed, Jel Alvarez, and Jane Westbrook. I don't see anybody else, so after Mr. Mohammed, Gary Mitten, Wendy Sarney, Allison Burney.
Ready? Once again, welcome back 2019, and I wanted to bring a little reminder to us because when we hear about blacks inside of Palm Beach County, we know that there are many different segments of the black population, and we had tried to establish our voice inside of the relationship here in Palm Beach County, the non-immigrant blacks. And a lot of these other organizations that are utilizing that word black, they don't represent our community to the best of their ability. Positive and supportive school climate and high performance culture. I just want to remind everybody the United States Congress just passed a resolution about white supremacy and white racism, white nationalism in the Congress, and it passed 424-1. And I thought that we were working on that same project as it relates to education here in the state of Florida after the passing of the Florida Statute 1003.42H, and we know that that deals directly with the curriculum, and we haven't had any kind of dismantling of that kind of activity thus far that we can get a report to our community like we requested last year at the closing of the school year. We requested that possibly you might have had some improvements during the year of 2018 that we might not be aware of, that you are aware of, and we haven't been able to get that kind of relationship established. Now, as we prepare for this next Black History Month, I'm hoping that during the month of February, usually everyone is a little bit more tolerant, a little bit more respectful during that month. And I know that we talked a little bit earlier, Ms. Brill, Ms. Whitfield, and Ms. Andrews, and Ms. McQuinn, and you too, Chuck and Mr. Barbereri, about doing a workshop. And in that workshop, you need the community, the real community that have been involved with the Florida statute since its inception. And I think many times we got a lot of people that are representing that law that don't have a comprehensive knowledge themselves. And I think if we had a workshop, we would be able to see some of these things that people keep saying that they're representing and they're not. And I leave you with what they say, vision is not just only being able to see, but it's also being able to anticipate what lies ahead. And as we prepare ourselves for the 2019, and we don't still hear any voices coming directly to the African-American community from our perspective, I'm hoping that we can continue to nurture that relationship with you guys, and that workshop possibly can come into existence. And I know it'll be beneficial not only for Palm Beach County, but for the United States of America. And lastly, just consider removing some of this stuff that we're having inside of the curriculum. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We all know who you are, certainly, but can you say your name for the record?
I'm Carl Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. My name's Gary Mitten, by the way. I hope we all had a great New Year, and I think we can all agree on one thing, that teachers can do their best teaching, students can do their best learning if the schools are clean, safe, and well-maintained. Well, guess what, Sean, I'm going to hit on tonight. Your maintenance department has been failing for at least 20 years. And I say that because the district has not funded them properly or enough. The number of employees has gone from 786, I believe it was, in 1982 to almost less than 200 now. There was only 98 schools then. There's almost 202 now. Your current progress just is not making it. I know you have your priorities, and maintenance is not one of them, because I can't remember the 32 years that I worked here, any school actually being painted outside. Do y'all leave your house like that? You know, some schools, the new schools back then, the 18, are now 20 years old. So you don't have anything new. Your maintenance department needs to be revamped. You have to dedicate money to the maintenance of your billion-dollar investment, over $1 billion. Think of how much money, property, land you have that you need to maintain. You're probably looking at one, maybe 1.5 maintenance personnel per school now. That's nowhere near. Students can't learn when they're sitting out in the hallway in 100-degree weather. They can't learn if the heat's not working when it's 35, 40 degrees outside. So you have a lot of work to do, but you need to dedicate yourself to having the funding to do it. Now, I know this referendum money, everybody's going to be having their hands in the till, and it's going to be up to you on where it goes. I think you can all agree that your schools are important. Your children are important. These teachers are important, but to do the right job, you have to have the personnel. You currently do not have that. So something needs to be done. My objective in the next month would be to meet with the board members, possibly the superintendent if he's willing. I'm sure I've already got a rep, you know, that maybe he doesn't want to hear from me. I've tried to get one with Miss Wanda Paul back in October, November. What was told, she's too busy. So, you know, I gave her my best shot, but she's too busy. For 4 months, 3 months, she's too busy for a 1-hour meeting. So, you know, I got nothing to gain here. I'm a retired guy that all he does is play golf. And I damn sure love doing that. But I'm trying to get things done that I've tried to do for 25 years that just didn't succeed. So please, your secretaries have my phone number. Some of them are on speed dial. So if you give me a call, I'll postpone my golf. I think you'd be interested in what I have to say, and I hope I woke everybody up so they can vote now. Have a
Thank you,
great
Mr.
evening.
Midden.
Look forward to next month.
Thank you, Mr. Midden. Just in the defense of Ms. Paul, I mean, she is extremely, extremely busy. We have almost 200 schools that she's in charge of making sure that security is implemented and all the things that we need to get done. So, you know, she has very limited time. So I'm sure when her calendar frees up that you'll probably hear from her.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm available
Okay.
for the 200 schools.
Thank you.
196,000 students.
Thanks, Mr. Midden. Did you play Santa Claus this year?
Yes, I did. I have an agent, by the way, now.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me a bit, Mr. Midden.
First year out of 20 years, I've got an agent.
Are you booked for next Christmas?
Which day? I'm starting on December 1st.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll give you the rate, but not in public. I'll give you the phone number.
All right, thanks. Wendy Sarney, Allison Burney, and Jill Testa.
Yes, hello to the board again this month. As you all know, my son was assaulted February 8th, 2016. He was forced, I use that word, forced to stay the remainder of the day because I was not called at all. I did not get the option to pick my son up, to see if he was okay, to bring him home, to take him away from danger. Instead, my son told me when I came to aftercare to pick him up right before 6. However, he did tell the principal at noon and stayed that day until almost 6 p.m., 6 hours more. If you can please picture 6 hours in the mind of an 8-year-old. But aside from that negligence, today we're here to talk about school shuffling, about people that have been accused of crimes, serious ones, like my son's assaulter and principal, and then shuffled into other schools within your county. I did address this last time I was here, asking you for a meeting, and I can assure the public there was no meeting. We are beginning to ask if you're taking this matter seriously, just because there is a pending issue that we don't discuss when it comes to my son does not mean that the board doesn't have the right to address this issue of shuffling. I know I can't point out names, but I will point out the schools. So far, Water's Edge to Calusa, Royal Palm Beach to Olympic Heights, Point Siena to Omni, Omni to Eagles Landing, Olympic Heights to West Boca. What am I talking about? These are humans that are accused of serious crimes. An example. So there was an assistant principal that actually pled guilty to burglary and stabbing someone in 2002 and is currently an assistant principal of one of your schools. I'm asking, is that because of failure when it comes to background checks, or is that because this is acceptable? Do you accept assistant principals with felonies on their record? Do you accept it if they stab someone, violent crimes, to be in your schools? Is it okay with you? I know it's not that you are not aware, as I received this information from your own site. It's public record when everyone has a disciplinary action and what it's for. Why are you switching schools and not terminating these people? When's enough enough? When?
Thank you, Ms. Testa. Wendy Sarney?
Good evening. My name is Wendy Sarney, and I have followed this case along with many others within the county. As I sit here before you with the 3 minutes that I have, I cannot help but wonder what you are thinking when you hear this every single month. Do you care? Do you look into this ever? I know you cannot answer us, and in a way that's good, because it forces you to actually listen. But what are you doing about this? 3 years coming here about shuffling teachers and not terminating them. 3 years we have come before you to help in getting rid of the people who broke your own laws, for the people who negligently handled this case to be held accountable. So we do not have repeat offenders in your schools and to avoid negligent hiring. So far, your action has been to ignore or to shuffle a principal that did not follow any of your own procedures. Is this what you want the Palm Beach County Board to be known for? When the county shuffles teachers, it is taking away from the good teachers you have in place. It is putting a bad taste in the community and having many parents question whether they're going to be putting their children in private schools. There are many parents out there who are afraid to speak up, but I am not. It is not about the scores to see which county is the best. I worked for the New York City Board of Education for 30 years, and I have seen teachers come and go. If a teacher was accused of committing a crime, yes, there would be an investigation. And if found guilty, that teacher would be terminated and not moved to another school to hide the crime. The parents of Palm Beach County schools are now aware of this. I find the practices of the board in shuffling teachers who have committed crimes to be outrageous and unconscionable, and this practice must stop immediately. Thank you.
Allison Burney?
I'm here tonight as a concerned parent. Andrew's assault was on February 8th, 2016, 3 years ago. And in 3 years, nothing's been accomplished. Nothing's been done. Month after month, parents are here, or Jill is here, nothing's been done. There was a principal that broke your own law, and that principal was relocated to another school. There's so many parents and friends and fellow moms in the county that want to know why this principal was moved to Calusa Elementary after breaking a law in Water's Edge Elementary. I don't know why a member would be shuffled into a different school after being accused of something so serious as assault. Why is hiring a new staff member that follows the law not a better image for Palm Beach County to go with? It's almost embarrassing to think that we cannot even handle something as simple as looking into the background of past teachers to make sure they have not been accused of any major crimes. In these cases, these people were accused and just shuffled to another school as opposed to being terminated. After 3 years of coming here and frightened mothers and children, this should be serious enough to you to at least look into it. Not just thank us after the beep, after a few minutes, go to sleep tonight easily and wake up tomorrow like it never happened. There's parents out there that are afraid to speak up, so we're speaking up for them and their children. Children. Do the right thing, hold people accountable, and hold the right people accountable for just shuffling faculty to another school.
Thank you. Mrs. Basso, is that, we didn't have any other speakers, correct? All right, so we'll move to the last item on the agenda, which is TL5. Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, at this time I have Deputy Superintendent Oswald come forward.